It's Monday, September 16th, 2024. Thanks so much for joining me today. An absolutely beautiful day in the desert. We're sitting at about 89, 90 degrees. Just beautiful blue skies, some white clouds. I got somebody over here with a sledgehammer. Hopefully that's not distorting the audio too bad. We do have a little bit of wind. I do apologize. But there's a few things I want to share with all of you today. Printed up some articles, jotted down some notes. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But there is so much happening that is going to affect each and every one of us. In this first article today from The Hedge, interest on U.S. debt surpasses $1 trillion for first time ever, exploding August budget deficit to record high. You know, we're so worried, is it going to be a 25 basis point cut, 50 basis point cut this week? Americans better wake up and smell the coffee here real quick. This is going to be the end game for America. It's debt. Yet we're worried about football games, baseball games, 25 basis points. There's a lot we better start worrying about. And this is one of the main things we better start worrying about is our out of control spending, whether that's household debt or this government debt, national debt that this country and our politicians cannot stop spending. August budget deficit, a staggering $380 billion, up more than 50% from the $243 billion in July, up 66% from August, and these numbers are climbing. We are in serious trouble, yet people will still laugh and giggle and say that, oh, this is just negativity, this is doom and gloom, things are fine. It's not that bad. This is extremely bad. Interest on the U.S. debt surpasses $1 trillion. First time this has ever happened, and it's going to continue to go up, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching the U.S. dollar be absolutely devalued. You're watching the middle class and your purchasing power being absolutely gutted. Yet people just laugh about it like it's no big deal. People are going to not laugh pretty soon. People are going to start taking this very seriously because it's going to affect everybody at some point. Then when people begin to realize what's happening or what has happened, it'll be too late for these people. And it may be too late for this country, unfortunately. Another one today. Boeing considers temporary layoffs to cut costs during machinist strike. This from the Seattle Times. 30,000 Boeing employees on strike. Markets today mixed. You would think with some of the news that I'm sharing with you that we would see markets absolutely crashing. They ignore the layoffs. They ignore the red flags. These markets are ignoring what's happening in the U.S. economy, what's happening to the U.S. worker. The markets ignore the interest on the debt. The markets ignore the debt. Markets just care about when are we going to get that rate cut, and hopefully it will be 50 instead of 25. The markets are so in hopium of a 50 basis point cut now. But I think that in all honesty, markets may not react in a very positive way. If we did get a 50 basis point cut, I think markets would actually react the opposite way. Who knows? Maybe markets would love it. You cannot predict or forecast any of this stuff now. There is no fundamentals, or there are no fundamentals in regards to these markets anymore. What you would think would be negative and bad for these markets, the markets just love and absorb and just embrace bad news. Millions in debt. CarePoint Health considers bankruptcy, merger, and layoffs. This out of New Jersey. Another one, Charles River Labs to lay off 650 employees. I believe that's out of Boston, NBC Boston. Blink Fitness, bankruptcy filing. List of New York locations at risk of closing. They have 100 locations across America: New York, California, Texas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Massachusetts. More than half of their 60 locations in New York now in jeopardy of closing. That's a lot of people losing their jobs. Arabica bean hits 2011 highs as coffee inflation soars. Prices are up 40% on the year. Another reason why I make my own coffee. Many of you said, JB, you have to stop going out to eat so much. You have to stop buying coffees at McDonald's. And I have. I have really cut it down thanks to all of you and saved me a lot of money. It has saved me time. much healthier, higher quality coffee, higher quality of food. Thank you so much for the advice. I took it. I took your advice. There are times where I do grab something to eat. I've probably, maybe in the last 8 months, 9 months, have actually bought a coffee while I was out, maybe 2 to 3 times max in that 8 or 9 month period. Yeah, I've cut going out to lunch probably down 80%. My coffee purchases are down high 90%, probably 98%. So it saved me a lot of money. I'm getting a higher quality of food, and I'm getting higher quality coffee. So thanks for the advice. Another one today. Americans are falling behind on their bills. Wall Street is alarmed. This from the Wall Street Journal a couple days ago. It says here, lenders see a rise in late payments on credit cards and auto loans. Yet people will write me, probably on this video, and say things aren't that bad. You're exaggerating. You're being negative. Things aren't that bad. $1 trillion interest on the debt, that is over 35 trillion, 200 trillion unfunded liabilities. Wall Street Journal reporting that Americans are falling behind. We have 18% a rate of food insecurity in America. We just got back from Los Angeles, a complete cesspool, homeless people, vacant buildings, retailers and restaurants gone forever. While the city just crumbles. So anybody that says it isn't that bad, I don't know what planet you live on. You certainly don't live here in the United States of America, but I would hate to see it when it does get bad. If it's not bad now, I would hate to see what bad looks like. The hedge. This is the best hedge against inflation reaccelerating in 2025. We're going to see a massive reacceleration in inflation, especially with these rate cuts, especially with the amount of money we're spending on these wars, the amount of money that we are printing, that we are borrowing. We're going to see a reacceleration of inflation without a doubt. Gold, in my opinion, at some point next year, who knows? If something happens this year, if a large event takes place this year, you could see gold at 3,000. We're around, 2,600 right now. It wouldn't take much for it to hit 3,000 by the end of this year, but I definitely believe that next year at this same time, gold will be much higher than it is right now. If you don't have any gold, if you don't have any silver, don't forget, silver is going along for the ride. Silver's been doing very, very well. Make sure you go to my link down below, SD Bullion. I've been dealing with SD Bullion now for about 7 years. Only place I buy my gold, my silver from. So if you need a reputable place, you're nervous about who you're buying from, where to buy from, go to my link, call the people at SD Bullion. They'll take very, very good care of you. Here's another one. Saudi Central Bank caught secretly buying 160 tons of gold in Switzerland. Why? Why are all these central banks buying up so much gold? Why is it that 1 in every 10 ounces mined of gold out of the ground, physical gold, 1 in 10 ounces is being bought by the central banks? Why is that? I know Dave Ramsey. I agree with a lot of what Dave Ramsey has to say. I watch his show on YouTube quite a bit because I love to hear the people calling in, because the situations these people have gotten themselves into with debt is shocking. So I have to listen to it to hear what's going on out there. And there's been multiple times where Dave talks about gold. It's a pet rock, doesn't like it. I don't know where Dave gets this from, especially a guy who is as smart as he is, who just doesn't get it, isn't paying attention. What's happening with the BRIC nations? What's happening with the central banks? What's happening with inflation? What's happening throughout history? Gold is always the last and only currency standing. So if you don't have some, I don't give financial advice, but if you were a family member, a friend, I would tell you, you better get some gold, you better get some silver. Most of all, I truly believe gold most of all, because it's not as volatile and it's just much, much easier to transport and store. So make sure you have some of this stuff. If you can't afford gold, get some silver. I just think that next year at this time, we're going to look back and go, wow, it was a lot cheaper back in 2024 than 2025. Here's another one today. Pray for peace as the madmen of the West are about to plunge the world into a mass death scenario that will catch Americans completely by surprise. And this article, this is coming from, where is this coming from? think Lohman.com, if that's correct. It's kind of blurred out here. But I came across this article on Steve Quayle's site. And most people, while they're watching football games and baseball games and doing whatever the heck they're doing, they don't even realize where their tax money is going right now, what's happening on the other side of the world. We're about ready to supply Ukraine with precision-guided cruise missiles that can reach very, very deep into Russia. In fact, we've already sent them over there, but we're going to now allow them to launch these missiles into Russia, very, very deep into Russia. Now, you've got to think, when do we begin to see retaliation, not just over there, but right here? What are the odds that if America allows this to happen, when do we begin to see retaliation right here? It could be cyber attacks. It could be missiles coming to America. But there is no doubt that we're going to see retaliation right here. We could see major violent acts with sleeper cells here. Who knows? But there's no way that we're going to do this and not see or feel a retaliation right here on U.S. soil. So while people are at those football games and baseball games, drinking their beers and having a great time, while their pensions are being robbed, their Social Security is being robbed, their tax dollars are going over to these countries, sending missiles that are going to really increase the chances of a world war and escalate war and bring America into it. It just blows me away how people just don't care. They'll care when things begin to happen on U.S. soil, but then it's too late. Then we're in it. Then, people lose their lives. Then the world changes, and it's a whole different place. America has never seen what a lot of these countries have been living through for hundreds of years. They've never seen these massive food lines. They've never seen a fiat currency go to zero. They've never seen hyperinflation. Most people never lived through the Great Depression, which was pretty bad. Most people have never seen a world war. There are still people alive who have seen the Depression and the World War, but very, very few. Most people watching this video have never seen a Great Depression, a currency collapse, or a world war, or hyperinflation. This stuff could all happen at one time. If we keep sticking our nose in these countries' business, if we keep financing countries to shoot missiles into Russia, and look, I'm not sitting here taking sides of Russia, Ukraine. I don't want to see anybody in any of these countries dying, and I certainly don't want to be one of the people or one of the countries financing the loss of life over there on either side. War is terrible. There's going to be no winner. It just needs to de-escalate and be over and done with. But we're going to continue to support and finance this war, and it's going to carry this war on much longer than it should have already been. And we're going to have, and we do have, a lot of blood on our hands right now. Shifting gears here a little bit, we live in a very, very violent world, no doubt about it. Second person dies from tailgate shooting after Detroit Lions game. This happened Sunday, September 15th, 4:30 p.m. A fight broke out, and all of a sudden, shots fired. You could not pay me to go to a football game. You could not pay me to go to a baseball game. First off, these organizations completely hate you, dislike you. I don't know why anybody gives them money or gives them a second of their time. Baseball, football, basketball, you name it. You have better things to do with your money. You have better things to do with your time. These organizations are so immoral, so corrupt. They don't like you. They don't care about you. They like you so much they charge you $10 for a hot dog. You couldn't pay me to go to one of these games now, and they're getting more and more dangerous. People are losing their minds. People will literally, they'll risk going to prison for the rest of their life. Over what? A disagreement in a parking lot at a football game, at a tailgate party? I highly advise that you do not bring your families to these type of events, with these type of crowds. People are drinking, they're doing drugs. There's a lot of, I mean, just been going on for years, the hostility and the amount of violence taking place at these baseball and football games. Unbelievable. This last one kind of hit a little bit closer to home. Gym owner fighting bravely in ICU after being shot during robbery in Los Angeles. This happened on Friday. As you know, we were in Los Angeles on Thursday. This shooting took place in Bel Air. We drove, right, through this area of Bel Air, Beverly Hills. Miguel Angel Aguilar, owner of Self-Made Training, he has 25 gyms across the country. One of them right over in Temecula, and lives in Bel Air. And apparently four suspects followed him home. He did not know, pulled up to his house, and apparently these suspects got out of their vehicle, approached him, wanted his Rolex watch, and for whatever reason, one of them shot Mr. Aguilar. He is in intensive care, critical condition right now. Pray for him. This is he's all over YouTube. You can pull up his videos. He's a real positive guy, self-made guy, and here you have another example of somebody self-made, working hard, dedicated his life to fitness and his business. Beautiful home, beautiful watch that four dirt bags couldn't work hard enough for. So what they did was they just followed him so they could steal it and take what he worked so hard for. And it is just another reminder of how careful we must be, head on a swivel, situational awareness. Make sure you can take care of yourself. Make sure that if you're licensed to carry, that you carry everywhere you go. It's just another tragedy. These people may never get caught. If they do, who knows? The damage is done. This guy may not even live. And if he does, he may never be the same. I pray that he pulls through. I pray that he has a normal life and everything's fine. But what a tragic event. This could be you. This could be me. Many of you know, I did a video last week. We had an attempted break-in at the house right here where I'm filming. Our neighbor's 4 houses down, attempted break-in also. So you have got to be alert. You've got to be ready. First off, is a watch really worth your life? No. It's just, it's probably just better to give it to him. But if you're in a situation where maybe somebody's in your home, or you know that they're going to do something bad to you and you don't have a choice, then you're going to have to fight. And hopefully you have the training, you have the tools to do this. Most people do not. Most people will resort back to the training, which is absolutely nothing. But in this situation, when somebody comes armed, if you're not armed, just give them. If they have a knife, if they have a firearm, just give them the watch, right? I don't know. He might have given them the watch. Maybe they just didn't like the way he looked at them or something he said. Who knows? A lot of times, these attackers, they just will shoot you for no reason. Maybe you just didn't jump fast enough. Maybe you looked at him funny. I don't know. But hopefully Miguel's going to be okay. Prayers for Miguel. If you have a second tonight, say a prayer for this guy. Nobody should go through this. You think you live in a nice neighborhood, like we live in a nice neighborhood here. You're living in Bel Air. You think, what's going to happen? You can't think like that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot think like that. It doesn't matter if you live in Newport Beach, Laguna, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage. It doesn't matter anymore. These people now are coming into your neighborhoods looking to take what you worked so hard for. So be careful out there. Situational awareness is absolutely free. Get off the phones and pay attention to your surroundings. When you leave your house, when you're driving, when you're out walking around, when you're at your house, I always like to look out the windows. I always like to see what's going on here. We added more cameras. Unfortunately, with the HOA here, we could not add a camera out front. We had a camera in the back. We had a camera in the house. We added a Ring camera, and we added another camera from one of the windows. So we have additional cameras, plenty of lighting, but nothing's foolproof, right? If that person would have got into this house, it would have been very, very ugly, and probably more so for them. So hopefully, thankfully, nothing happened. Hopefully, that's the end of it. But it is a wake-up call for me. It should be a wake-up call for you. These articles I share with you, my own experience, should be a wake-up call that it can happen anywhere. If it can happen in a gay community in Palm Desert, it can happen anywhere in this country. Be safe out there. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. God bless every one of you. As always, I look forward to speaking to all of you. We'll see what tomorrow entails. And remember, who knows what we're going to wake up to. Be prepared. Prepare, prepare, prepare.